Hey guys, it's Ken here from shop3d.ca. Today I have something really special with me. No, it's not Jackie from Vancouver. It's actually the brand new Ultimaker S7. Let's unbox it right now. So let's get to it. Ceremonial knife. Oh wait, this is the new type of box. We just unclip it. Don't cut it. It's the first time I'm seeing this bad boy. So basically what we're looking at is an S5, but with a whole bunch of upgraded features. What are they?
Well, the main thing you can see is the Air Manager is already integrated into it. So no longer are we using the additional Air Manager as a separate unit. It's already built into the system and it's much larger.
It's got a nice big door, so let's open that up and start taking these clips protectors off.
We have our accessories here.
So it's actually been almost about 4 to 5 years since we've had the S5, and now we finally have the S7, and it's a lot of what people are asking for, including a flexible build plate. So tell me a little bit about this, Jackie.
Yeah, so one of the major changes for the S7 is instead of glass for the build plate material, we have the flexible build plate. So as you can see on the bed, there's magnets in here. So now we use flexible build plates so that you can bend it and get your parts off a lot easier than some of the glass components.
And in terms of size, I've noticed it's pretty much just like an S5 with the Air Manager on top in terms of height and size. What about the build volume?
The build volume is the same as the S5. Still, quite large already. We have roughly a cubic foot. The extra size that you're seeing right now is this is the Air Manager component. This is where everything moves around. So this is not actually extra build volume added to the height.
So there's a lot of good protective cardboard around it for transport, and the box has a lot of padding as well, so it's easy to transport to you. And even if the forklift pokes it a little bit, it's not going to actually damage the printer. So Jackie, now that we've got the unit out, I'm going to unpack some of these accessories, but tell me your first thoughts in terms of what you expected, how do you like the unit as a whole, and some of the similarities and differences with the S5 behind us.
Yeah, I think the most immediate thing that I noticed was how easy it was to unbox. We literally took out the clips and we're done. On the S5, we had more cardboard things that we had to take out and prearrange, but this thing, we're just taking it out and we're pretty much finished.
Yeah, with the S5, there's tubes kind of hanging out at the top, and there's an open cavity at the top, but this is just one solid unit. Really, can't damage it at all taking this out.
Yeah, super easy. There's no cable ties on the head. It's amazing.
In terms of some of the differences that I'm noticing right off the bat, the logo is a little bit different. It's kind of recessed into the side now, but also this big bar here, and tell me a little bit about the head as well.
Yeah, so this big bar here adds rigidity to the frame. So we expect a little bit more stability during printing, or maybe you're trying to push the speeds a little bit faster so it doesn't shake as much. The head is actually quite different now. There's a new bed level sensor. So it uses a capacitive sensor now so that it works with the flex plate. And there's also a flood detection now. So if you unfortunately get some flooding where material's at the head and it pushes this fan shroud out, it will stop and pause your print so that no additional damage can happen to your printer, and you can resolve that and potentially continue your print.
And I know that you can't really see the camera, but the camera is a little bit upgraded as well, right?
That's right. So the camera is higher resolution, so you're going to have better visuals to keep track of your prints, and it also connects with the Ultimaker cloud. So you can add this to your fleet, with your S5s and everything, but you will get just better clarity overall with the better camera.
Awesome. Let's take out some of the accessories now, plug it in so that we can see what it's like when it powers up. This is something that you'll need right off the bat, power cable. We also got the safety and warranty information booklet. Quick start guide in 37 different languages. Instructions for the build plate and maintenance instructions. This is great because this is a new system for the S7. And a little pamphlet talking about the software that it comes with, Cura, Digital Factory. Here's your XY calibration guide, and we'll take you through the calibration process. Underneath this, we're gonna get the Ultimaker Flex build plate. This is what is gonna go on the bed with the magnets. I'll let you unbox that. Here we have the Ultimaker S7 accessories box. I'll open this in one moment. And then, of course, 2 full spools of material. We got 750 grams of tough PLA black, and then 750 grams of Ultimaker PVA, your water-soluble supports. Installed on the printer already, what do we have as print cores, Jackie?
Currently what's installed is an AA core, and then there's a slot for another one, so you can either put in a BB or another AA, and I assume those are also in there as well.
So I'll open up the accessory kit now. There's a lot of stuff in here, and as expected, Jackie is correct. There's an additional AA print core, a BB print core specifically for your PVA. There's an Ethernet cable, some lube for your rods, a special screwdriver for some of the bolts over here.
Yeah, the screwdriver can take apart this whole printer essentially, so it's designed very well, where you can do the vast majority of the maintenance with a single screwdriver.
And then some additional grease and tools here, and some silicone pads for the head. And finally this, we gotta talk about this, Jackie, because this is the spool holder for the back with the NFC reader, but you know, as with their S5 back there, it's got a material station. So what's the deal on that?
Yeah, so if you're using the printer by itself, you would use the included spool holder, which has a RFID reader as well. But if you have the material handling station, then you can put this unit on top of the material handling station, and you will not need this unit, and it will automatically feed the 6 rolls into the printer itself.
So it is compatible with that fully. We'll probably put it on a little bit later on for you to see. For now, we're gonna install the spool holder. And this is an NFC spool holder, so it's gonna detect what materials you've loaded. As long as it's an Ultimaker material, it's gonna be able to detect what material that is. So I'll let you install that one, Jackie. And then finally, the one little one in the middle is, of course, your USB drive, where you can plug in the front if you want to upload your files by USB instead of Wi-Fi. So now we have the back of the S7. As you can see, it's very similar to the S5, but to me, it looks a lot cleaner.
All this here, and spool guide, and that's it. I guess make sure you have your NFC and your Air Manager plugged in as well, which we didn't do earlier.
And then here is the outlets for the Air Manager. Of course, we have to install the filter on the front as well. Okay, Jackie, so why don't we just install the spools, turn this thing around, install the magnetic bed, and start printing?
Yeah, sounds good.
So on the spool holder, it actually says position 1 and position 2. So make sure you're installing the filament into the right direction for either feeder 1 or feeder 2.
Yep.
So Jackie, is this a similar experience to the S5 when setting up?
Yeah, this is exactly the same as the S5, so no difference here. Unless you have the material station, in which case you would install them from the front.
If you have an S3 or an S5, this is gonna feel right at home to you, except the unit is a little bit bigger. So let's turn this around now. All right, now that we've flipped the printer back to the front, why don't we install the magnetic bed, the print core, the air filter, and then go through the quick start guide to get printing.
Sounds good.
So let's see this new magnetic bed.
So this is the new sheet.
Oh.
It's quite flexible, and it's got a nice texture on it. There are no clips anymore to hold the glass, so this just goes in, and that's it.
And here's the filter for you. So this filter will actually filter out 95% of all ultrafine particles coming out of your printer. Obviously, you know, it's better for engineering materials like nylon and polycarbonate. but it will do PLA as well. Obviously, it won't need to be turned on quite as heavily for PLA because there's less particles floating around.
And installation's easy. You just press it into the slot and that's it.
And since we have PVA loaded, I'll give you the BB core to install.
So this is the same as the S5, S3 as well. Just open the front and pop that guy in there. And we're good.
All right, so with all of that installed, I think we can start with the quick start guide and see if we can get a print going.
Sounds good. So you have your welcome screen, you hit start.
The best thing about the Ultimaker unboxing experience is that it actually guides you through the whole experience. It's so intuitive that I didn't even reference the quick start guide at all.
Yeah, all the instructions are here. I mean, this explains how to load the filament. So we've already put the filament in the back.
So I think this quick seamless experience is great for libraries, schools, or universities, looking to get a unit. And if you've never had experience 3D printing, I think this will give you a very good start. So Jackie, while it's loading the filament right now, can you tell me a little bit about, why this machine is actually taller, but the build volume is staying the same?
Yeah, so if you compare to the S5 with the Air Manager, it's actually about the same size. So this is essentially with the Air Manager integrated. So the build volume remains the same. And then if you look at the S5, this height in addition to it is just what the Air Manager would have taken anyway. It's just much more solid as a built-in unit, and it's one thing, so you don't have extra pieces and you're not installing extra things. So when you're just setting this up, this is already fully integrated. We've done barely any installation whatsoever. So it just makes the whole process much more seamless and easy to do.
Yeah, and what we found is that a lot of S5 customers with us will automatically buy the Air Manager with it anyway. So I think the S7 is a great upgrade for people who are already looking for that type of combination because it's already integrated. There's nothing else for you to add to your purchase. So Jackie, now that we've got all the filament loaded, so what else do we need to do? Do we need to do an XY calibration or?
No, we're pretty much ready to print. XY is already calibrated at the factory, so the cores that it comes with already are paired and pre-calibrated with the printer, so we just need a file.
Okay, so actually, we don't have anything loaded, but I know the S5 has some files loaded. Can we just take it right from the S5 and print it here?
Yeah, since it's the same size, we can print the exact same file from the S5 in the S7.
Let's do it. So that's a great bonus. If you already have an S5, you can just take your files over. Whatever you slice for your S5 will print directly on the S7.
We select our file here and start the print.
So now it's going to do its bed leveling before it starts printing, correct?
That's right. So there's a new bed leveling sensor. So with the new addition of the flex plate, it has to use a different type of leveling sensor. So that's been upgraded so the first layer is perfect all the time for this material. And in case you're wondering, you can't use glass on this particular machine.
So in terms of getting the print started, now the machine is gonna just prep the print, but it's gonna do a bed leveling first, right?
That's right. So the startup procedure is the same as the S5. So what it'll do is it'll heat up the bed first. Once that gets up to temperature, it'll heat up the nozzles, and then it will do an automatic bed leveling. It'll touch multiple points and do a mesh bed leveling to ensure that the first layer is perfect, and it'll just start printing after that. So pretty much after you put in the USB, you hit start, you can walk away and come back later when your print is finished.
Wow. And I do have a question for you about the Air Manager. How do we control how fast that Air Manager is going? Because I don't think there's controls directly for the Air Manager, right?
That's right, there's no manual controls, but everything is built into the system already. So each material has a particular profile on how fast the Air Manager should run. So if you're using PLA, it'll have a certain setting already baked into the system, and we've already told it that we're using PLA. So it automatically knows at what speed to run the Air Manager. If you're running ABS, for instance, it'll run at a different temperature or a different speed. And and it'll take care of that all by itself. You don't have to do anything on your end.
And when do we change the filter for the system? When do we know that it's going to be saturated, for example?
Yeah, so when the filter is saturated, the printer will actually tell you on the screen, and you can just change it out. Like we installed it, it takes about 2 minutes. You can just get another UPF and slot it right in there.
Great. So between now and printing, what else do we have to do? Is there anything else that we have to do?
Get coffee?
Let's do that. Well, I got a coffee and I just remembered a few other questions to ask you before it starts printing. And that is about the software. Now, Ultimaker is known for its Jira software, but what are we expecting with the S7 that might be different or the same as the S5?
Yeah, so just like the S5, you can expect the same level of refinement in terms of the material profiles. It's super easy to get all of the common materials running on the S7, just like the S5. All of the profiles for PLA, ABS, polycarbonate, all of the things that you'd expect is already in there. And then any third-party materials, you can just look on the marketplace, click on the install button, and it will also add that profile into the system. So as easy as possible and as easy as the S5 as you come to expect from Ultimaker.
Now, if I have a fleet of printers like I kind of do behind me, how does that integrate so that I can manage my queue for printing?
Yeah, so S7 is also compatible with a digital factory. So you can just add the S7 into your print farm, use your existing workflow, and it will recognize all your materials, all your printers, have all the profiles set up. So this is a seamless integration into your current workflow if you already have a farm of Ultimakers.
So it's very easy to expand your fleet, from an S3, S5, S7. Now, what if I had multiple engineers working on it? Is there enterprise software available for larger organizations?
There is. So there's a professional level, which will give you more user access, more admin access. And there's also an enterprise level for additional support, priority ticket support, and as well as access to the Ultimaker technical teams and custom integration as well.
Now, I know this is a point that's very important to customers, but what's the warranty on an Ultimaker, and what's your experience with the reliability of the Ultimakers?
Yeah, so the reliability is amazing. I mean, that's why you would go with Ultimaker to begin with. They're known to be super reliable. You just run them 24/7 and they rarely break down. And also there's so little maintenance on it that you just maintain it, once every few months, a little bit of oil, and there's virtually nothing you need to do on it. In terms of warranty, it comes with a 1-year warranty, and the support is also extremely amazing.
Awesome. So I guess we'll just let it start printing and then we'll come back to a successful print.
Sounds good.
Hey guys, welcome back. It's been about 37 minutes and our first print is already done. We didn't have to do any calibration, just printing right out of the box. So let's check it out. Wait, actually, let me do this. I want to use the magnetic bed. Oh, it's already loose. I can see that when I flex it, it's already off. And there we have our little mushroom. So Jack, I wanted to ask you, it was super easy printing right out of the box. What are your impressions of the S7?
I think this is the easiest printer we've had so far in terms of unboxing to starting our first print. It's literally, you just take it out of the box, plug everything in, and you're all set. So yeah, first impressions, very positive. This is what we expect from Ultimaker. Super easy to use, already everything is set and just works on the first go, no calibration. Amazing first experience. And I have to say, the magnets on the bed are super strong. It's gonna hold that plate down for sure. I think if I wasn't careful, if I went like this, I probably would have shot some of the prints up, because when you bend it, that's when the prints can come off the bed really easily. So I think that's experience has definitely improved over glass as well. And then in terms of unboxing, I mean, it literally just took us, a couple of minutes, 5 minutes maybe, to go through everything, install the spool holder, and then get going. I mean, what would you say, it is compared to the S5 in terms of performance, what you've noticed, and also ease of use? I think it's a big refinement on the S5. It's not dramatically different in terms of capability, but I think what it offers is it makes the process much more streamlined, much easier, and I think the flexible build plate adds a lot of ease of use into it, because you no longer have to use a lot of glues, and you can use all the different materials on the flex plate, without worrying, what type of glues am I using? Is it gonna crack the glass? And that type of stuff. So it also has gives you a peace of mind with the new sensor on the head. So I think generally Vast improvements all around on the S5. It makes it much more reliable and just much easier to use overall. But general capability wise, fairly similar.
And just to remind everybody that this is the S7, so it's the new flagship for Ultimaker. It's got all the bells and whistles. And if you want to see this system work on a material handling station, make sure you check out our product feature coming up. For now, I think this is a great unboxing. It's probably the smoothest unboxing I've ever done. And honestly, it was just a super easy, seamless experience, exactly what we expect from Ultimaker. And I think they've proved their capabilities again with the new S7.